enterprise and the traditions of the people. NTA Sokoto, commitment to serve by excellence.
Leka gidan kowa tashar talabijin ta farko ga ƙasa ta Najeriya. NTA Sokoto tasha mai tafiya daidai da zamani. Domin tabbatar da hakan, mun sabunta na'urorin mu manya da ƙanani domin cikar muradunku. Hoto da murya sai dai ai kama. Ga mu gida a gan mu office. A kafar sada zumunta ta Facebook muna nan a NTA Sokoto News Update. Ko da wani lokaci a ta YouTube kuwa a neme mu a NTA Sokoto live stream. Kasance da NTA Sokoto ko da wani lokaci don kallon ƙayatattun shirye-shiryenmu masu ilmantarwa, faɗakarwa da nishaɗantarwa da kuma tallata hajojinku. NTA Sokoto maiki mai zagadu.
And a warm welcome to another episode of Tax File. I am your host, Laure Bala Hassan, and today we've got a packed show that's sure to inform and inspire. We'll kick off with the latest tax news, giving you the updates you need to stay ahead. In our Did You Know segment, we've got some surprising and little known tax tidbits lined up for you. Then we head into Vox Pop, where we hit the streets to hear your voices on current tax topics. Those public opinions will set the stage for our knowledge zone, where we break it all down and add context you can use. Next up is professional insights, where experts weigh in with practical advice and deeper analysis. And finally, we'll round up things with What's on the Net, where we respond to your comments and questions and reactions from the social media. There's a lot to cover, so let's get started. And now, the news. The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has held its inaugural Research Day at the Revenue House, Abuja, with the theme Enhancing Tax Administration Through Evidence-Based Decision-Making. The event signals a major step in institutionalizing research-driven tax administration. Ejura Etu Okpanachi has the reports.
Delivering the keynote, Mrs. Bolaji Akintola, Coordinating Director, Corporate Services Group, emphasized collaboration, innovation, and embedding research at the heart of operations. The Department of Research and Statistics also launched a dedicated website providing open access to research outputs. The Executive Secretary of WATAF, represented by Mr. Abiodun Adewale Adeboye, congratulated FIRS and hailed the new statistical bulletin as a breakthrough for researchers, enabling access to authentic data for evidence-based policy making. All coordinating directors gave goodwill messages, pledging support and encouraging sustainability of the initiatives. The event closed with a collective commitment to promote research and place data at the core of tax policy and reforms.
In a major move to further protect taxpayers' confidentiality, the federal government has criminalized any form of unauthorized disclosure of internal documents, communications, or institutional data belonging to the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, soon to be renamed the Nigeria Revenue Service, NRS. Aisha Bilkader reports.
Under Part 5 of the newly enacted tax legislation, offenders face a hefty 5 million naira fine, up to 3 years in prison, or both, upon conviction. The law classifies all FIRS, NRS internal records, including memos, tax assessments, communications, and business-sensitive data as strictly confidential. Disclosure is prohibited except in 3 specific instances: authorization by the executive chairman or management, a court order, or when necessary, for enforcing Nigerians' tax laws or complying with international tax treaties. To further protect institutional integrity, the Act limits legal action against the service or its personnel, requiring any suit to be filed within 3 months of the incident or 6 months if damage is ongoing, and invokes the Public Officers Protection Act to shield tax officials from frivolous lawsuits related to their lawful duties.
The National Single Window NSW team has taken a significant step towards modernizing Nigeria's trade landscape by holding a high-level strategic meeting with the International Air Transport Association (IATA). The discussion focused on deepening collaboration to enhance trade facilitation and boost aviation efficiency across the nation. Hussein Ibrahim reports.
This meeting underscores a shared commitment to streamlining processes and fostering a more business-friendly environment for international trade. Central to the talks was the pivotal role of the NSW in revolutionizing air cargo operations. Both parties explored how its integration can simplify complex procedures, significantly reduce costly delays, and ensure Nigeria's aviation sector aligns with the international best practices. IATA reaffirmed a strong commitment to bolstering the initiative by providing expert knowledge sharing and forging strategic partnerships aimed at creating more seamless, secure, and competitive trade operations for all stakeholders. This strengthened alliance marks a crucial milestone in Nigerian journey towards realizing a fully digital, transparent, and efficient national trade ecosystem. By leveraging global expertise and cutting-edge digital solutions, the partnership paves the way for a more integrated and prosperous economic future.
Let's join Mariam on the Vox Pop segment.
Hello and welcome to the segment. My name is Mariam Julie Adura. As always, we've hit the streets again to find out salient issues on taxation. We will be finding out what the National Information Technology Development Levy is. Want to know more about it? Come.
When we talk of the National Information Technology Development Levy, it's a levy which came about in the effort of the federal government to support information technology development in the country, and as such, to make fund easier, the government deemed it fit to establish by act the Information Technology Development Fund Act, and that enables it to collect money for funding of infrastructure in the information technology development. The FRS has been enabled in that act by section 16 to do the collection.
This is a levy created by the federal government under the agency of NIGDA. The amount to be collected is 1% of profit before tax, and companies that are to pay these NIGDAs are companies that are into insurance, internet related companies, GSM companies, financial institutions, cyber companies, etc. And for you to be entitled to pay this tax, your turnover must be up to 100 million naira and above. If not, you are exempted to pay NIGDA.
Why did the government create the NIGDA? Who does it go to?
it goes to the government. FIRS collect it and they pay along with CIT, which is company income tax, and it goes to the government. The companies who are liable to pay this levy are pension and pension related companies, bank and cyber companies and internet provider.
So we want to find out from you, what is NIDA?
NIDA is acronym for National Technology Development Agency. Then the levy that fund the agency is collected by FRS and remitted to NIDA. The levy is called NIDA levy and is enabled by Section 12 of the NIDA Act, which imposes a 1% before tax, 1% on profit before tax by certain category of company. FRS collect this fund and remit to NIDA, but then their turnover should be above 100 million. It should be 100 million and above before they can pay this levy. FRS administer it, impose it. It's also pay along with CIT. When this company are paying their CIT, they pay the levy. There are times if there is default, there is also penalty. If within 60 days the levy have not been paid, after FRS have sent notice of assessment, there's a penalty of 2%. Then if it still remain unpaid, on conviction, there should be a penalty of no less than 1 million.
Did you know the National Information Technology Development Levy is charged on specified companies with turnover of 100 million and above? For more information, visit www.firs.gov.ng.
Ashu Abe takes us on the Knowledge Zone.
Hello and welcome to Knowledge Zone, where we shed more light on interesting conversations earlier had on the streets. I remain your host, Ashu Abe. In this episode, we'll be talking about National Information Technology Development Levy. The levy is governed by the National Information Technology Development Agency Act of 2004 as amended. The levy is charged at the rate of 1% of profit before tax. This levy is charged on specified companies with a turnover of 100 million and above. Companies liable to pay these levies are GSM service providers and all telecommunication companies, cyber companies and internet providers, pension managers and pension related companies, banks and other financial institutions and insurance companies. Over to you, Laurie.
And now to our Professional Insight segment.
My role includes the implementation, development and implementation of the enterprise risk management in the service. This means that I and my team have to work to ensure that we're able to identify, assess, and mitigate, as well as monitor all the risks that could affect the objectives of the service. In monitoring these risks, we want to ensure that we're able to mitigate any risks that can affect our collection, 2025 collection of 25.2 trillion, and also anything that could affect our image, any reputational risk that can affect our brand as FRS, and any other risk that could actually impede the achievement of our objectives. Also, I'll also ensure that I work hand in hand to make sure that the governance structure regarding risk is put in place and is followed. and the governance structure enables us to be able to look at our risks holistically. This means working hand in hand with top management and, of course, with everyone in the service, because risk is a responsibility and a concern to all. So the Federal Inland Revenue Service actually does enterprise risk management, looking at the enterprise risk management documents. And these documents are quite a number. So we have the enterprise risk management policy, which I'll talk about. We have the enterprise risk management framework. We have the enterprise risk management charter. We also have the enterprise risk management terms of reference for the enterprise risk management steering committee. So the policy is what we work with to guide our governance, because as risk management department, we work with risk champions, we work with risk owners who are directors in core tax operations or even in non-core tax operations. So we have these risk champions in all the departments of the service. So like I said, we have risk champions, we have risk owners who are directors or CDs, coordinating directors. We also have the risk management department as a department that would oversee what the risk owners and the risk champions are doing regarding our risks. And of course, the risk management department is overseen by the coordinating director of corporate services group. And then in the governance structure, we make our reports to the enterprise risk management steering committee, which is headed by the EC, executive chairman FRS. And then of course, at the ultimate is the board committee, where there is a board. Okay, so risk management department, like I said, one of the documents we have on enterprise risk management is the risk appetite statement. And the risk appetite statement has categorized all the risks in FRS into 9 buckets. And one of the buckets is the compliance risk. And it's in that we look at the risks that pertain to our taxpayers. The risk around the core 4 pillars of registration, taxpayer filing, taxpayer payments, and accurate reporting. So in that way, we're able to not just look at the threats that the taxpayers might pose regarding this, but we're also looking at what are those things that could also enhance our services to the taxpayers, which we can see as opportunities. And these reports are given by all the field offices through the risk owner, who is the director in that department, the core tax department, in the risk registers. So in that way, we're able to look at threats to our compliance, where there are compliance gaps, we're able to look at those risks and mitigate them. Where we need to have opportunities, where there are opportunities that could enhance what our taxpayers need to do or what we need to give to our taxpayers as a service, we also look at those and we're able to implement. Okay, so one thing we're looking at in risk management department is the fact that, just like I said, risk is a concern for everybody. So everybody in the service needs to be aware of risk. So what we do is to ensure that everybody is embedding that awareness. So one of the things we have done is that we go on sensitizations. This year we've had a webinar to talk about the enterprise risk management documents. This year, with the approval of the coordinating director of corporate services group, we've gone to a lot of field operation offices so that we also go and tell them about the compliance risk, because that is what pertains to obligations of taxpayers. Recently, we've also gotten the approval of the executive chairman for the mainstreaming and adoption of compliance improvement plans as a strategy for compliance risk. And in that way, we've been able to go around the offices to tell them about compliance risk management. For us in risk management department, we embrace digital innovations. So currently, we're in the process of automating the risk registers. Presently, we still receive our risk registers manually. But like I said, we're in the process of automating so that we can track our risks, monitor our risks real time. And in that way, we leave out all the manual operations. One other thing we do, I've said that we try to look at the internal and external environment proactively. So we leverage on data analytics to actually be able to do some research. In my department, we had a division that is strategic analysis and research unit. So what they do is to leverage on data to identify gaps in different sectors. So in that way, we use a lot of data analytics. And I've also talked about the compliance improvement plans. These plans also leverage on data from risk owners in the different departments. It is the data that we plug into the risk differentiation framework that we use so that we're able to categorize our taxpayers into the right categories that they should belong regarding their risks so that we can apply the appropriate risk treatment strategy. One of the successes we recorded is we've gotten a lot of buy-in from management, from top management on risk. We report to the Enterprise Risk Management Steering Committee, which is chaired by the ECFRS, to look at those risks and ensure that any control owner or any risk owner that has a responsibility for any risks does ensure that they mitigate such risks. We've also had achievements in the area of the compliance improvement plan. Last year, we had the IMF work with us on a pilot compliance improvement plan to close some compliance gaps in a particular scope of taxpayers, looking at value-added tax. And from that pilot, we were able to close compliance gaps over 90%. So that was really something that was tremendous. And in 2025, because of the success we had with the pilot, we are now implementing the compliance improvement plans on a broader scale. Now we get 100% submission of risk registers from departments in headquarters, all departments in headquarters, and even from the core tax operations. So we also make recommendations based on the research we do on these sectors. Yes, we have some challenges, and then one major challenge that I would say we still have is the fact that risk management is driven by the support of top management. We have that support, but we need to get more. And when I say we need to get more, it is because risk management needs to be at the forefront of every operation, of every policy, of every procedure in the service, so that we can proactively identify what the risks are and be able to bring this urgently to the notice of management. Because it's important that we're able to curtail our risks before they become a crisis. I'd like to conclude that even as we transit to the Nigeria Revenue Service, risk management currently is looking at all the tax laws and seeing how it could also make an impact in identifying whatever transition risks will be involved. And in this way, we'd also be able to move the organization forward.
Over now to Swateku for What's on the Net.
Hello and welcome to What's on the Net. My name is Joyce Swateku. Catherine Chinyere is saying, please, I want to ask, tax clearance and tax compliance, are they the same thing? Well, Catherine, they are related but distinct concepts. Tax compliance refers to a taxpayer's ability to follow tax laws and regulations. It means filing tax returns correctly, paying taxes when due, and meeting all obligations within the required timelines. While tax clearance is the official certificate issued by the tax authorities.
FIRS for companies and in some cases, State Tax Board for individuals. It confirms the taxpayer has fully met their tax obligations for a specific period. Tax clearance certificates are often required for key activities such as bidding for government contracts, business registrations, or visa applications. In summary, compliance is the practice, clearance is the evidence. At Gambo Tech is asking, I have submitted all necessary documents for Tax Pro Max registration, yet your team at Yaba MSTO has refused to do the needful over 2 months now. There must be a technical reason why the registration has not yet been done. Kindly visit the tax office to collect your team. Over to you, Laurie.
And that's a wrap on this episode of Tax File. Hopefully you're walking away with a few more answers and a better grip on the tax world around you. But we are not done yet. Keep the conversation going by connecting with us on our social media handles. Until we meet again, I am Laurie Bala Hassan. Stay smart, stay compliant, and keep tuning in to Tax File. FIRS, simplifying tax, maximizing revenue.